Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss some concepts from molecular biology. Packing of DNA helix. Some interesting figures about human DNA. Haploid content, that is 23 chromosomes of human DNA are made up of 3.3 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. So haploid content, that is 23 chromosomes, consists 3.3 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. Hence, the diploid content, that is 46 chromosomes of human DNA, is made up of 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. The distance between two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometers, that is equal to 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meters or 34 angstrom units. So based on this number of base pairs or nucleotides, already we discussed in previous video, the length of the DNA depends on the number of base pairs or maybe nucleotides. So now already we are given in human chromosomes in haploid condition 3.3 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs, and in diploid content the chromosome, that means the base pairs in 46 chromosomes is 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs are present. And we are already said that the distance between the consecutive base pairs between two base pairs is 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. Now based on the data, now let's find the total length of a DNA double helix in human cell. Total length of DNA double helix. So total length of DNA double helix is equal to total number of base pairs in diploid content into distance between the base pairs. Then you will get the length of the DNA double helix in a diploid cell of human. Now, the total number of base pairs in diploid condition 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 into distance between base pair, that is 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. So 10 to the power of minus 9 and 10 to the power of 9 is cancelled. Then it becomes 6.6 into 10 to the power of 6.6 into 0.34 meters, that is equal to approximately 2.2 meters length of that human DNA. So in a cell, the length of human DNA is 2.2 meters. Now let's know that the diameter of the typical nucleus, cell consists nucleus. The diameter of that typical nucleus is approximately 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. That means this is equal to 6.00001 meters. This is the diameter of nucleus. Then how this long polymer, that means a DNA 2.2 meters of DNA is packed in nucleus, which is a just 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. So DNA is packed in the form of 46 chromosomes. in the nucleus. So how it will be packed in that nucleus? That is the concept today we are going to discuss. Packing of DNA in prokaryotes. In prokaryotes like bacteria, that is Escherichia coli, the length of DNA is 1.36 millimeters. The length of DNA in Escherichia coli is 1.36 millimeters. Prokaryotes like E. coli do not have defined nucleus. DNA is not scattered in the cell. So remember that prokaryotes, they do not have defined nucleus. Defined nucleus means nucleus surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Inside that the genetic material is present. That is the nucleus. The nuclear membrane is absent in the prokaryotes. So there is no defined nucleus in the prokaryotes. So then nuclear membrane is not there. Then the genetic material, that is DNA, is not scattered in this cell. So we draw a bacterial cell diagram in your first PUC bacteria, and we draw the DNA, circular DNA at the center. It is not scattered all over the cell. It is present at the center only. It is not spread all over the cell. Now, DNA being negatively charged. So DNA molecule is negatively charged. Negatively charged is held together with some positive charged region termed as nucleoid. So why the DNA is negatively charged? Because already we studied the structure of DNA. DNA consists sugar molecule, first nitrogen base plus phosphoric acid. This phosphoric acid provides the negative charge to the DNA. This phosphate ions provides the negative charge to the DNA. And this negatively charged DNA held together with some positive charge in the region termed as nucleoid. So this nucleoid region having some positive charge. Due to this, it is present at that region. Now, DNA is organized in the form of large loops by proteins in the nucleoid region, organized in the form of a loop by proteins. The condensed state of DNA in the nucleoid of bacterial cell is called as folded genome. The DNA is further segregated into domains or loops, and these loops are held by proteins. Each domain is independently negatively supercoiled. So let's see this explanation in the diagrammatic. Let's see the explanation of that previous slide in a diagrammatic representation. So the first one, it is a DNA, unfolded circular chromosome. So chromosome consists DNA. It is unfolded and it folded into a several domains or maybe loops, several loops. Now, when it is unfolded, its size is 350 micrometers. When it is formed as a loops or maybe domains, then it forms 30 micrometers. And these are folded. These folds along with the proteins. that proteins are having the positive charges. And now each domain or maybe loop further again it will super coiled again. That means the 30 micrometer become 2 micrometers. So here each loop, so there are several loop first unfolded and it forms 40 to 50 loops in the second stage, and each loop is independently supercoiled and existed at the center in the prokaryotes, that we will call as the nucleoid. Packaging of DNA in eukaryotes. DNA packing is the best explained by solenoid model. This is an important term in the objective part. Explained by solenoid model. In eukaryotes, DNA is packed in the form of number of chromosomes. It involves a number of molecules. So that packing of DNA involves a number of molecules. So we mentioned it involves number of molecules. In that, the first one is histones. So histones are basic proteins. That means they have positive charged proteins that are positively charged. The charge of protein depends on the presence of type of amino acids with the charged side chains. So the charge of these histone proteins depends on the presence of type of amino acids. Histones are rich in basic amino acid units, basic amino acids like lysine and arginine. These amino acids rich in histones and they are basic amino acids. They provide positive charge to the histones. This is one important one mark point. Name the amino acids present in. Name the amino acids rich in histone proteins, that is lysine and arginine. These two are rich in histone proteins. Both these amino acids carry positively charges in their side chains. Another one is histone octamer. Histones are organized to form a group of 8 molecules called histone octamer. So here octa means 8. So a group of 8 molecules, histone molecules, organized to form this histone octamer. So already in previous slide we discussed this histones. So histones are positively charged proteins. Positively charged proteins. Proteins that positive charge is due to presence of lysine and arginine. Arginine amino acids gives that positive charge. So now these histones, 8 molecules of histones are organized to form histone octamer. Now there are 5 classes of histones. Histones are 5 classes. They are H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 are the 5 classes of histone proteins. In these 5 classes, H1, H2A, H2B are rich in lysine amino acids. H3 and H4 histones or class of histones rich in amino, that means arginine amino acids. So these are also very important in the objective concept. So let's see here the histone octamer. So here this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4 is present behind of that. Total 8 histone molecules are grouped together to form. See down we can see some another 2. These are the another 2. That means 5, 5, 6 histone and another 2 is present inside it. Total 8 histone molecules organized to form that octamer. Histone octamer. And around this histone octamer, the DNA is wrapped because histone octamer, histones having positive charge. So around this positive charge, the DNA having negative charge. This negatively charged DNA is wrapped around this histone octamer. And these wrapped DNA are tied with another link to DNA. Here this end and here this end of the DNA is joined by a linker DNA. That linker DNA consists H1 histones and H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 are present in this octamer. H1 is present in the linker DNA. Linker, nothing but it link the two ends of the DNA which are wrapped around that octamer, histone octamer. The next one is nucleosome. The negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone octamer to form a structure called new body or maybe nucleosome. So nucleosome is a structure formed by a negatively charged DNA wrapped around the histone octamer that we will call as the new body or nucleosome. A typical nucleosome consists about 200 base pairs of DNA helix. So that wrapped DNA around that histone protein consists 200 base pairs of DNA. Since a typical human cell has 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs, it means 3.3 into 10 to the power of 7 nucleosomes are present in the cell. So, how many nucleosomes are present in a diploid human cell? So, already we are given number of base pairs. Number of base pairs 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs are present total. In that each nucleosome consists only 200 base pairs. Then how many nucleosomes are formed in a human cell? Human cell consists 3.3 into 10 to the power of 7 nucleosomes are present with this number of base pairs. One nucleosome. So one nucleosome is formed by DNA and histone octamer together form as one nucleosome, attaches to the other nucleosome with the help of linker DNA. One nucleosome attaches to other nucleosome with a linker DNA. This linker DNA associated with H1 protein. Histone octamer has two molecules of each H2A, two molecules, H2B, two molecules, H3, two molecules, H4, two molecules, total 8 octamer. So the histone octamer consists only 4 histone protein classes, that is H2A, H2B, H3, H4, only 4, but each one 2 molecules are present. DNA length is shortened about 7-fold by winding around the nucleosome. So DNA length is shortened, become short about 7-fold by winding around the nucleosome. Let's see the previous explanation in diagrammatic representation. So now here there are total 8 histone molecules, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th one is present behind of that. Here 2 we are mentioned here, not 2. Below that there is one more, that is 8th. Okay, so now 8, total 8 are present. So in this one is H2A, H2B, this is H3 and H4. These are the 4 molecules present, each one 2 2. These are, and again here also H2A, this is H3, this is H4, and H2B below that second one. So to total 8 histone core form as a histone octamer. Around this histone octamer, this red color thread, it is a DNA molecule and it is wrapped around the histone molecules. So the DNA which is wrapped around this histone molecule consists total 200 base pairs. BPS base pairs. 200 base pairs are present in this wrapped DNA. And we are mentioned that a linker DNA, it is a linker DNA, linker DNA. This linker DNA consists total 5 H1. That means it consists H1 histone protein present in linker DNA. So this linker DNA joins the other nucleosome, this linker DNA. So in the next diagram, we can clearly see that. So linker DNA, that means the DNA which joins the 2 nucleosomes are called as the linker DNA. This linker DNA consists H1 histone proteins, and remaining 4 types of histone molecules are present in the octamer. Okay, I think you are understand clearly by seeing this. So nucleosome, it is formed by a single nucleosome is formed by histone proteins and DNA formed this nucleosome. So in your nucleosome, DNA is present. In the DNA, how many base pairs are present? 200 base pairs. So based on this, then we can calculate that number of nucleosomes present in a human cell. We are calculated. So diploid human cell consists 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. These base pairs are present in a diploid cell. For this base pairs, then how many nucleosomes are present in that? So it consists nearly 3.3 into 10 to the power of 7 nucleosomes are present. Nucleosomes are present in the human cell. Now, chromatin. A number of nucleosomes together form a structure called as chromatin. So number of nucleosomes join together to form a structure called as chromatin. So nucleosome chain gives a bead on string appears under electron microscope. The bead string is coiled to form a cylindrical coil or maybe solenoid having 6 nucleosome per turn. The nucleosomal organization has 10 nanometer, or in some books it is mentioned 11 nanometer thickness, which gets further condensed. This nucleosomal organization 10 nanometer, it is further condensed and coiled to produce a solenoid of 30 nanometer diameter. And this solenoid structure further coiling to produce a chromatin fiber of 300 nanometer. 300 nanometer. So under electron microscope, the nucleosomes are appear like this. So in a thread, so it is elaborated. A diagram is given here. So if you are imagine it is a thread, in that thread, the nucleosomes are appear as a bead in a thread. So under electron microscope, the nucleosomes are appears as a bead in a thread. So now in this, this is a this is nucleosome, this is nucleosome, and these two nucleosomes are joined by a DNA that we will call as linker DNA. This linker DNA consists H1 histone proteins are present, and nucleosome consists already we mentioned H2A, H2B, H3 and H4, each one 2 molecules present in this nucleosomes. So we already mentioned in previous a chromatin fiber with 300 nanometer further coil to produce of 700 nanometers. Now the chromatid further coil to form a chromosome of 1400 nanometers. So now chromosome structure, if you are observed, this is a chromosome structure. So chromatids, these are the chromatids. So the chromatids are joined at center centromere. So each chromatid is 700 nanometers. So that means there are two chromatids. That's why total it become 1400 nanometer chromatid size. So now DNA, it is 2 nanometer in length and it form as a diameter 2 nanometer diameter, and it wrapped it form as a 10 nanometer in diameter, and it becomes solenoid that diameter is 30 nanometer diameter. So these are all the diameters only 30 diameter, and this is 10 diameter, 2 nanometer diameter. DNA diameter is 2 nanometer diameter, and it is coiled and form as a nucleosome. Its diameter is 10 nanometer, and nucleosomes further form as a solenoid form, then it is 30 nanometer, and this solenoid again coiled to form as a chromatin fiber. So this chromatin fiber is 30 nanometer, 300 nanometer, sorry, 300 nanometer, and chromatin fiber coiled to form a chromatin 700 nanometer, and the chromatins are coiled and to form a chromosome with 1400 nanometer diameter. So let's see that representation what we are given in DNA, and it form as a nucleosome solenoid, and then chromatin fiber, chromatin, chromosome, that is in diagrammatic representation. See here the DNA 2 nanometer diameter DNA molecule wrapped around the histone proteins to form the nucleosome, that is around 11 nanometer. So now here it is not at 30 nanometer, it is a 300 nanometer chromatin. So nucleosome form as a solenoid. It is 30 nanometer. This solenoid form as a chromatin fiber 300, and this chromatin fibers form as a chromatin. So this chromatin having 700 nanometer, and finally this also having 700, the entire chromosome having 1400 nanometer diameter. Chromosome. So during metaphase, so during cell division, during metaphase stage, the chromatin gets visible as a chromosome in a cell. So we can study the chromatin or chromosome structure during metaphase phase of the cell division. So the chromatin gets further coiled and condensed at metaphase of cell division. Packing of chromatin requires additional set of proteins. Packing of chromatid. So packing of DNA required the proteins called as the histone proteins. Apart from that, packing of this chromatin requires the additional proteins that are collectively called as non-histone chromosomal proteins. So histone proteins and non-histone proteins. Non-histone proteins are helpful for the packing of chromatin, and histone proteins are mainly involved in the packing of DNA in the form of nucleosome. So a chromosome in a single strand of DNA helix packed together. In a typical human cell, DNA is packed in 46 chromosomes. Let's see, this is the representation of that chromosome. So chromosome consists a chromatin. This is the chromatin, and terminal end of this chromatin is called as telomere, and it is a chromatin fiber, and it is a solenoid form, and then nucleosomes, and finally histone proteins are identified, and it is DNA. So the DNA wrapped around the histone proteins to form nucleosomes, and nucleosomes form as a solenoid, and this solenoid form as the chromatin chromatin fiber. The chromatin fiber form as a chromatin, and this chromatin form as a chromosome. So in a human cell, the DNA is packing in 46 chromosomes. Packed in 46 chromosomes. Euchromatin and heterochromatin. DNA is present in the form of chromatin fibers in the nucleus. So DNA present in the form of chromatin fibers in the nucleus. In a typical nucleus, some region of chromatin is loosely packed, and hence it gets stained lightly and is called as euchromatin. So loosely packed one, it gets the stained lightly, that means it absorbs color lightly, it appears light color. That region is called as the euchromatin. This euchromatin is said to be active chromatin as it participate in the transcription process. So this definition we will learn in the further concepts. So euchromatin is active because it participate in the transcription, copying the information onto the RNA from DNA to RNA. Now, the chromatin that is densely packed, very closely packed, and it gets stained dark color, that is called as heterochromatin. Loosely packed chromatin is called as euchromatin. Densely packed chromatin is called as heterochromatin. This heterochromatin is said to be inactive as it remains passive. That means it does not involved in the transcription. So here itself you have the differences between euchromatin and heterochromatin. So differentiates between euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin is a loosely packed chromatin, that is one, and heterochromatin is densely packed chromatin. And the second point, and this euchromatin stained lightly, it absorbs color lightly, and heterochromatin stained darkly. And third point, this euchromatin is said to be active as it participate in transcription, whereas heterochromatin is said to be inactive as it remains passive or as it cannot participate in transcription.